Good, wonderful Monday morning, everyone. It's February 29th, 9:50 a.m. February 29th, leap year, special day. So, markets actually, although are actually not very exceptional today. We actually had a flat. Exceptional is not that there's not opportunity, but nothing really major in terms of a story or overnight news to really move the markets at this point. We had a flat open, both on the ES, YM, and interestingly even the VIX products pretty much opened up flat. I'm long on Nugget right now, NUGT, which is the directional daily gold miners, so long gold miners. And got long here at 55.97, up plus 1 hour on this trade now. And I'm just going to actually adjust my stop really quickly here while we're talking about that. A little beep there is just signaling me that I need to adjust my stops as it starts to move in our favor. We have a few things on the calendar today. We just had some news coming out a few moments ago, about 6 minutes ago, around the Chicago PMI. We got 10 o'clock news around pending home sales, and then the Dallas Fed survey comes out at 10:30. So overall markets again were pretty flat. So if we just take a quick look here at the ES and see where we're trading at. We're starting to break out of the range I started this morning. The YM, same thing. We had a nice little range this morning. I drew this little kind of pre-market range, kind of traded inside of it, and this is actually quite bullish now for the market as we're breaking out of this opening range high and out of this range. And if we can do that at an increasing volume, as we're showing here, then that's positive. Quick look at the sectors for a second. So the sectors today, an overview is we have, pretty much things are not, it's pretty flat as expected based upon where the market is trading. The builders are leading today, followed by discretionary, tech, and utilities. And the laggards are healthcare and financials. And energy's kind of moving up slowly. So that's something to be watching out for. You want to see, kind of all of the sectors moving in favor. If we're going to expect to have, a good kind of trending day and not a choppy day. So that's what I'd be looking for right now, is just watching the sectors play themselves out. And as you saw already, we have a lot of materials names in our watch list today. CHK, MRO, FCX, PBR, a number of gold miners in here as well. In terms of our play, our stocks in play today. So that's what I'm watching. It's 9:53. I'll come back when the news comes out in about 7 minutes. Alright, so quick update. So the news there at 10 did not materially impact the market that much. ES, had that spike down in news. We're still inside this range we're trading in the morning. It's this opening range. We're talking about the 30-minute opening range. And we're still channeling in it, so it's not a breakout of it yet. If anything, what I'm seeing here now is kind of a broadening wedge pattern, otherwise known as a megaphone. We can draw it right there. And it can play out a couple ways. If it breaks above this area here, so let's draw it in here, this area here, if it can clear this area, there's a good likelihood it's going to go higher. So this is really you want to see that area get cleared. Otherwise, if it begins to stay below these ranges here, like it's doing now, then there's a good chance it's going to continue to go lower. In fact, the likelihood it's probably going to break lower just because we have a lot of resistance overhead on the ES right now. If you look at the higher time frame, it has all these moving averages above it here. So here, it's in order for it to clear this, it would need to have some substantial volume and buying power to break through these moving averages. Not impossible, but it's the market tends to work in such a way that it usually needs quite a bit of momentum to break through significant areas like that. So I think it's going to be hard work for it to do that. Now the VIX on the other hand has the opposite ceiling, right? So right now it has the Friday's opening range, Friday's highs. So that's the immediate areas of resistance or potential resistance. I don't even call it strong resistance. It's just an area that it has to work through. But the moving averages are currently supporting it. So long as these moving averages here, as long as they don't doesn't break below it, then you got to give the market the benefit of the doubt. That is, the expectation is that for most people is that it's going to go higher. So once it can break above these small descending trend line, expectation is that it would go higher right now. If it doesn't, then I think it's going to set up some good opportunities. Alright, quick revisit of the sectors. We now have some things breaking down, right? So before we had only two sectors in the red. Now we have a total of 5 sectors in the red, although staples is right in the middle right now at 0%. But energy's broken down a bit, so energy now is no longer in the positive, and it's broken down. But materials are going up. So interestingly enough, material names are going up. So let's watch and see how that plays out. Okay, 10:06. All right, another quick update here. So we actually have what we described before as a broadening wedge pattern, right, on the indices. This is the same pattern on the VIX actually. So we got a broadening wedge pattern happening on the VIX there like that. And what you often see is a broadening wedge will actually turn into a symmetrical triangle. So you see here now that this has now become a symmetrical triangle. So we have basically an opening of energy, and now we're having a coiling of energy. So what we're expecting here now is a breakout in one of these two directions, right? So we're gonna get a chance here to go long or short the VIX, I believe shortly. Got news still at 10:30, so that could influence things a bit. People may hold off on taking positions. So let's watch how this breaks out of this pattern. If we go back to the ES here, they have this broadening pattern here, and you can see now we're trading below these levels that I had indicated before, right here. So this is certainly conducive for a VIX breakout to the upside. So you just want to watch this here. Wait to see some confirmation, right, with some volume. So you want to see really momentum push upwards, and because momentum precedes price, right? So we want to watch for that strong momentum with the volume. Again, volume also precedes price, so you want to see the volume support that, and then we want to be looking to get long here on a VIX entry. So I'm going to just put in my VIX trade here, get close to, just get it set up and get it ready for an entry. All right, it is 10:14, looking to get long VIX. Okay, quick update, 10:24. VIX actually looks like it's actually not, we're getting more selling than buying. Look at the XIV on the other hand, it actually looks fairly bullish. We have this, again, same pattern, right? We have this broadening wedge followed by a coiling symmetrical triangle. And if we can break now above these opening range highs, we have already the volumes picking up. I think we can move it higher. So this is great because we actually have, if we take a look here, we also have a gap way up here at 2023. This is actually an old gap here. I'll remove this one. And so long as the news in 5 minutes doesn't really change it doesn't change the overall picture, it looks like we have a nice setup here for it to move to the upside. We have a lot of folks who are getting frustrated in this chop here, right? So it's really important here to maintain your composure, keep your powder dry, and just wait for the right opportunity, right? So wait for the market to signal itself, give you its hand, and then you can take action. Trying to take action here in this chop, you'll just get frustrated, right? So I'm going to wait for the high probability trade to set up, and I have no bias either way. If one side fails, then I'm going to take the other side, because that will give that other scenario higher probability. So in my course of decision making, it has nothing to do really with whether I'm going to try to pick the right direction or not. I'm simply seeing what the market has to offer, waiting for it to come back to where I feel comfortable taking a risk based upon an asymmetrical reward, and then we'll play it from there. So right now the market's certainly coiling, building up that energy. We have that news coming out in about 4 minutes, and I expect to see kind of an expansive move after the news comes out, because we've been coiling now for a good close to an hour. So this will definitely result in some sort of resolution one way or the other, and we're going to try to pick that move when it starts to show itself. Okay, 10:27. All right, so quick update. Markets began to break down now, looking for an opportunity here to get long the VIX at some point. This is the 15-minute chart. If the low of this bar here gets taken out, this consolidation bar, NR5, near range 5 bar, 41.75, then I think this market can start to break down. It'll break below its opening range low here, and then it has a chance to go back into maybe Thursday's lows. So that's what we're looking for here at this point. If it starts to break out like 41.75, then get below that, like we're seeing it right now, right? If it can crack 41.75, this red line here, then the sellers are definitely in control. So the VIX position here, we're still waiting for it to set up. It's still just channeling, can't rush it. We really want to see some conviction. And don't forget, we've been saying it this whole morning, right? At this point, the VIX has the wind to its sails because the moving averages are basically supporting it right now. And if it can crack above, this high here of 24.53, then we could have a potential for this to break to the upside here. So that's what we're waiting to see, right? And it's consolidating. You can see here these little blue arrows. It shows me consolidation. And it's consolidating right against these moving averages. So we're certainly in that kind of channeling, coiling mode of energy, and we expect to have some sort of expansive movement out of this channeling motion. But the market's hanging in there, so we gotta wait and see. You gotta wait. You can't. You gotta look at what the expectation is. Proceed to see anticipate what the market's going to do. Anticipate the possible scenarios. And then once they actually come to pass, then we can be adaptive here and actually take on positions. But right now, the expectation that the market goes down, I'm going to anticipate what I'm going to do based upon that. And then if the market changes its tone, then we have other opportunities. Okay, so 10:36. Still waiting and seeing. Slow day today. Alright, interesting turn of events. So it looks like XIV's popped to the upside. I'm trying to get long here now at 1937. We had some increased buying and momentum here popping up. And I'm interested in a continuation of this move. So we're looking to get long on 1937 on a stop limit. So if the price action can go back above 1937, then I'm looking to get filled that area for an extension to the upside. It looked like for a second that ES was going to break down, and it certainly looked that way. But right now, and there we go, I'm long now on XIV at 1937. So let's go ahead and see how this one plays out. This is why it's good not to have a particular bias. I still think that you can see here now the trend line is broken down out of the XIV. So I still want to see volume pick up, and so that we can see how this is going to clear these levels here. That's what I want to see, how that's going to happen. That's going to really dictate the quality of the move. But right now, XIV is certainly picking up some buyers. So that's the position I'm long on now, and have my stop below the opening range highs there. So that's how the market finally broke out at 10:45. All right, so XIV just popped a bit there, plus 1R on some nice volume. So this is good to see with this position. So let's move our stop now to minus 1R. So we're going to trail our risk here on the XIV position. And right now, the markets are steadily moving higher. As you can see here, the ES finally broke out of that ugly range that had been consolidating in for a while. So you really want to see this guy continue to move up here. We're still waiting for volumes to step in here. YM, same thing. It's kind of slowly breaking out its range. Not out of the woods yet. If you look on the higher time frame, we still got this 20 period moving average heading down. This blue line, that guy is oftentimes a very strong level of resistance or support. So we need to see buyers step up here and have that bar close above that 20 period moving average. And you can see right there, it's struggling right now, right? It's having a hard time closing above it. Not only do we want to see it close above that, right, above that line, we also want to see then a subsequent bar close above the previous close, and that will really be confirmation that we're going to take things back to the upside. All right. So if we actually take a look here at the consolidation from the morning, I'm just going to draw on my Fibonacci's for a second on the larger time frame. We pulled back in this morning, and we've been consolidating right between right around the 50% retracement area. And there we are. So here we go. We're starting to see that expansion now in volume and price action. XIV, if you go back for a second, we are now, still hovering in there. So it's not really moving the XIV yet. So, and we have a lot of selling coming in here now. So something definitely worth watching here, as the market isn't necessarily off to the races yet, or at least the volatility isn't moving as quickly as I thought it would. So give it some more time. We're watching our levels. The good thing on the XIV that it has cleared above its 20-period moving average, above its opening range high. So that's quite positive there. It would take quite a bit now for this thing to come back down. Although it could come back down just to, to take out some weak longs before it goes up higher again. But on ES again, this is it's right at the opening range high here. This is again of a very important level. I want to be watching to see how that plays out. 10:55. Quick update on XIV position, the nugget position. I was long NUGT. I just stopped myself out at 56.20. No longer like this pattern anymore, as we had a lot of time that we were just kind of consolidating near the opening range highs, and then finally when we broke below 56.50 here, this area here, this area right there, I think the buyers are no longer in control. It could certainly go back higher again. I'll look for a lower risk entry, but at this point here, I don't like the fact that it wasn't able to break to new highs, especially with the broader markets now rallying. So currently long XIV, it is 10:59 and out of nugget at 19.20 for about 56.20 for roughly a half an R reward. Another quick update on XIV. This has now moved plus 3R in our favor, so we're trailing to plus 2R. So worst we can do now is capture plus 2 on this trade. So good trade. Begin to see where the selling is gonna come in. By this point here, looking really good in the XIV. ES finally cleared those levels. We talked about it in our previous update, how it needed to close above this bar here. How did it close above that bar? Because that bar had closed above the opening, above the 20-period moving average. And not only has it closed above that bar, but it also closed above the opening range high. So you can't really ask for more than that. At this point here, it's the buyers are clearly in control here now. Whoever's shorting is certainly in a they're going against the trend. And if you're short right now, you're just trying to get out at a good place, because the price is certainly going against you at this point. All right, so 11.20, good trading today. All right, up plus 4R now on this XIV trade. Move my stop to plus 3R. So good read on XIV. Now at this point here, we're just trying to capture as much as we can out of this trend. So there's a possibility here that it goes all back to yesterday's Friday's high, which would be 1996. That would be a great place to aim for. There's even an unfilled gap at 2023. So if the market pushes up that way, then that's way up here. That would put us in a kind of a plus 11R situation, which would be an amazing trade. So let's just play it out 1R at a time. Plus 4.5R right now. Look at the broader markets here. As you can see, the ES, as we said, once it broke out of that little consolidation pattern, bam. This is why a lot of people they do when they should wait, right? This is what we've talked about in the past, is that you don't do yourself any favors by trying to outguess the market here, right? In that bit of chop there was just, you could have gotten chopped out and stopped out on numerous trades before the direction became apparent. And a lot of people probably did. That's why they got frustrated, and that's why the market's now moving the way it is, because it's basically popping people's stops. Those folks who got really frustrated, now they're very, very resistant to changing their opinions about things, and they don't want to close out that position. So now, at this point here, they're paying the price for that. And on the XIV trade, again, just on the opposite way, we were very patient. And I was very patient in basically waiting for the market to show itself, right? and we had to sit through all this chop. It was about, what was it? We took that trade there at 10:41. You know, basically an hour and 10 minutes of sitting and waiting, and just number one, understanding the expectation of the market, and then number two, anticipating what could possibly play out, and then adapting it to try to find a low risk asymmetrical risk to reward trade. So now we're in a good position here, and that's how that trade worked out. All right, 11:38. All right, final update. So stopped out of XIV at 1964. Minus a bit of slippage, so a good plus 3R trade. I think went up to about 4 plus R in our favor. Then it quickly sold off, so as we got stopped out for plus 3R. So good trading for the AM session. 11:53.